Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. I'm very excited because this is the first episode in of the Clarity and Confidence show. I'm just checking that we're actually live. If you can see me, and yeah, if you can see me or hear me, let me know because I'm using something new called StreamYard. So yeah, just pop a comment if you can see that I'm live, because hopefully I am. And it all looks like it's working, but I can't see any comments at the moment. So yeah. Anyway, good morning, everyone. How are we all? I've got a couple of people joining now. Excellent. How are we all? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Clarity and Confidence show. And I'm very excited to be here today. I'm so excited. I've had a hair wash. I've got a new dress on. And yeah, I'm all good to go. So, like I said, I'm using some new technology, so we'll see how we go. But I'm very, very excited to be here, and I am definitely starting to get my energy back. And I want to do these slightly longer shows that are going to give you some really good, immediate, super simple, but feel good tips and hacks to help you with where you are right now. And it's a bit of a strange world at the moment, isn't it? So, it's going to be things that you can implement really simply, things that are super quick to implement, and things that are going to really help you with your clarity and your understanding. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm feeling a lot better, and these are going to be a regular every Monday morning at 9:30. So, and I've got a list of things that I want to talk about, a list of trainings that I think are really going to help you. So I'm very excited to be here. So let's get started. So for those who don't know me, I'm Nicola Buckley. I help incredible women who are in the corporate world, and they're either leaders or aspiring leaders. I help them to come back to their clarity on who they are, on confidence in what they want, to start taking some really inspired action. So it's not just about climbing further and further up the ladder. It's about actually getting very clear on who they are to decide what they want. And it's about reducing that stress, that anxiety, that overwhelm, that constant push for more, and actually getting them super clear on who they are so they can understand whether what they have is right for them. And a lot of those women at the point where they're asking, is this it? Is this my life? It's not necessarily what I want. And I help them by understanding the noggin knowledge, so the neuroscience of change, and then also reconnecting to their heart and what is true for them. So that's who I am. That's what I do. And today I'm going to be talking about 5 steps to creating clarity now without exhausting yourself, and without just losing your mind, because it's a pretty strange time in the world at the moment. We're kind of coming out of lockdown, but we're not out of lockdown, and it's all a little bit weird, and what you can and can't do, and everyone is this huge global pandemic, yet it's affected everyone slightly differently, and it's been really hard to have clarity for all of that because there is no normal. And a lot of people had businesses that closed, have been furloughed, and corporate world, the whole world has shifted. So many people working from home, so many people trying to lead their teams from home, and a lot of my clients, I've really helped them with that. And it's just a very different world at the moment. So clarity, and amongst all of this, when there's so much change, clarity is a real superpower. Clarity is the thing that will bring you back to taking inspired action. Clarity is the thing that will clear your mind and settle your nerves and give you real focus. And clarity means that you can put your time, love, and energy into what is going to make a difference for you, and what feels good and what feels right for you. And in amongst all of this change, that's absolutely huge, because you can stop doing the things that you don't want to do. You can stop saying stop saying yes when you mean no. You can stop seeking approval and permission. You can stop just following what your boss wants you to do. You can stop just trying to be superwoman at work and at home. You can just stop putting all this huge amount of pressure on yourself to do everything and all at once. And you can just stop doing that, because it's not about living externally for everyone else and societal pressures and what you should do. It's actually about living for you and what you want and what's important to you, what's going to make you more happy and more fulfilled, especially at the moment in this crazy world, 2020, and the slight shitstorm that it's been. Clarity is a superpower. It will clear your mind. It will bring you back to a happy heart, and it will stop you giving lots of time, love, and energy to things that just aren't for you. So that's why I wanted to start talking about it today. And I'm going to give you 5 super simple tips that you can implement right now that are all noggin knowledge, neuroscience based. So if you do the work, they will work. So why is it so hard for women in particular to have clarity, and women that are in the corporate world and aspiring leaders? It's even more difficult for women, I think, to have clarity, because we want to say yes. We want to feel loved. We want to feel part of something, and all of that. We want to feel enough. We want to feel that we're making a difference. Especially women in the corporate world, like to go into the corporate world and have all the challenges that there are and all the pressures and expectations. It's a fucking difficult world to really just to be part of, and there has to be a big driver for that. And it's very difficult in that world because you're trying to fit in, so you lose the hard edges of who you are. I spent 16 years in corporate world. My feedback was that I was too loud, I was over emotional, I was oversensitive, and I never really fitted in, if I'm honest. I muted myself. I kind of wore clothes that were a lot duller. I didn't laugh so much. I just tried to blend in because I wanted to progress. I wanted to go further in my career. And I honestly thought the only way that I could do that was by muting the big part of my character, which is being a huge extrovert, which is just caring for people, which is being very emotional. Part of that is being an empath, and I'm highly sensitive. And I just had to bury a lot of that. So it's very, very difficult for women in the corporate world to have that clarity and keep that clarity, because you're trying to please your boss. You're trying to keep your kids happy at home and be a great mum. You're trying to keep that connection to your partner and have that date night and keep that feeling of when you first met them. You're trying to be a good daughter. You're trying to be a good friend and support those around you. And this trying to be Superwoman means that you lose the connection to yourself. You lose that understanding of what's important for you. You lose that understanding of where your clarity lies, because it's muddied by so much that is going on in your life. And it's that constant rush of it's that day that you wake up with the alarm. You then, well, you don't go to work at the moment, but you get the kids ready, then you start your day of work, back-to-back meetings, and then you get home after your commute. Again, it's being mum, and then you sit down and you just want a glass of wine and you just want to eat something that's just going to help you feel better about your day. And it's that constant rush through the day and the constant rush through back-to-back meetings. You don't even have time for lunch, let alone having time to go to the loo. I remember those days. So it's really difficult to keep you anchored in yourself with all of that going on and just that manic pace of life. And why is it so hard to have clarity now? It's so hard to have clarity now because the entire world is changing. All the plans you probably had at the beginning of the year around travel, around your career, around how you want your business to be, around the children, assuming that your children were going to go to school, all of that is different now. And it's going to keep changing, and it's going to keep evolving, and we're going to keep having to make these adaptations. And again, when there's so much change, it's very, very difficult to keep that clarity about who you are and what you want, because your framework of the world has changed so much. So my super simple 5 feel-good tips today are all about helping you come back to yourself. So I help my clients come back home to who they are. And that's what I'm going to help you to do today with these 5 super simple feel-good tasks. And it's also hard to keep that clarity because we're really distracted now. We're on our phones so much. We're on social media. We tend to go into comparing mode. We tend to be in the corporate world very competitive, and we just lose that sense of who we are in that fast pace of life. We never stop and think about, this is where I am. Is it where I want to be? And you're too scared to stop because of all those plates changing, all those plates that you need to keep spinning all the time. So let's go through these 5 super simple tips. So number 1, which is one of my favorite things ever, which is super, super simple, but so, so powerful. If you don't have clarity right now, if you're feeling overwhelmed and your head is completely full and you sit down to start your day and you just don't have a fucking clue where to start, we've all had those, right? Just do a brain dump before you start anything. Get a blank sheet of paper, literally like a mental vomit. Empty your head onto that piece of paper. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about perfect prose. Do not worry about any of that. The really important point is the mechanism. The really important point is that process that you're going through. So if you think about it, when you don't have that clarity, when you're feeling overwhelmed and so much on your mind, it's like a computer that has too many tabs open. And what this will do, it will help you to close some of those tabs. Okay, so keep going, keep going, keep going until you have nothing left, until there's nothing left. So go and grab a cup of tea, sit down with that blank sheet of paper, just empty your head before you get into anything. You're not going to be productive. You're not going to be efficient at work, or you might be a more shouty mummy if you're just trying to do everything with your head really full. So even if this means getting up 5 minutes earlier a day, it's a tool that my clients always come back to when they're feeling overwhelmed. So do that brain dump. Okay. So that's the first step, and always come back to that. It's effectively closing some of those tabs on your computer. Yeah. That's the first one. When you've done that, what I then want you to do is look at what you've written. So what you're going to look at, you're going to look for two things. You're going to look for what is data and what is drama. So data is the facts and the truth and what is real. Drama is the stories and the beliefs and the just what you've made up around it. So it's not actually true. So again, when you're in fear, when you're feeling under pressure, when you're not feeling enough and you're kind of caught in that downward spiral, you can end up the brain is naturally programmed to go back to what it knows. So it goes back to your old stories, your old beliefs, your old habits. So all the things that don't serve you. So for me, when I'm having a wobble, I go back to not feeling enough. And old me, ego-driven me, tends to go back to just working more and working harder. But having not been well, I can't do that now. So it's a very different balance for me now. So data and drama is a brilliant way of just, when you've emptied your head of everything, go through and literally just cross out everything that is drama. You know, separately, I would work with my clients on their beliefs. Separately, I would work with my clients on upgrading those beliefs and the stories and the habits they have that don't serve them. But that's not for today. That's a whole different live that we'll do in another episode. But for today, split out that data and drama. So empty your head, data and drama. The next thing you're going to do is a similar thing. Look at what you're in control of and what you're not in control of. So you only have a finite amount of time, love, and energy. Through this, so many people are just fucking tired. They're just exhausted. This has been a long, hard slog. A lot of women have been working from home. They've been running their teams remotely. They've also had their children at home. And it's just been a hard slog. And some have had to go on furlough. Some have had to take salary cuts. Some have had to make people in their team redundant. It's just been a hard graft. So you are going to feel tired. You are going to feel like it's a hard work at the moment. And we don't get the other extreme of that, which is knowing that there's a holiday ahead. You don't naturally get that at the moment. It's not guaranteed that you can just go and have that break that you need, that you kind of bank on to get you through another few months of the year. So look at where you've done your brain dump, then look at what is in your control and what is not in your control. And everything that is not in your control, again, I literally want you to cross it out. I want you to let go of it. I want you to stop focusing on it. So it might be what's going to happen next with lockdown. It might be what's it going to be like when children go back to school in September. It might be how's it going to work when we go back in the office. You know, just let go of everything that you're not in control of, because then what you can do, you have the truth and the reality with the data. Then you also have what you're in control of. All right. This is what I can do. This is where I can put my time, love, and energy to make a difference. Yeah. Does that make sense? So that's your brain dump, and then splitting out that list. And the final thing with that list is just to have a look at whether what you've written down is past, present, or future. So if it's past, again, cross it out. You're ruminating, you're beating yourself up, you're kicking your own ass for something that's already happened that you can't do anything about. If it's future, again, it's not something that you can control now. All you can do now is make the best of now. All you can do now is take a next step now. A feel-good, inspired action next step is all you can do, and that creates your future. So cross out anything that is future, cross out anything that's past. Yeah. So then you're left with a list that is here and now. These are the things to focus on. This is where I want my time, love, and energy to go. Right. So that's our first few steps. The next step that I want you to take, so step 3, is all about connecting back to you. So again, we've been in lockdown for months. You've probably not had your hair cut. You've probably not had your eyelashes done. You've probably not been able to see your friends. You've probably not had the balance at weekends of getting out and about until recently. So like I said, it's been a really hard slog, and you've just been in doing mode. And there's plates that you've kept spinning for so long. It's okay to take them down and set them aside now. It's okay to recommit to connecting to you. And connecting to you can be a super simple thing. It can be sitting down with a cup of tea and relaxing. It can be sitting in your garden for 10 minutes and reading your favorite book. It can be spending time with your friends. It can be a longer dog walk. It can be getting to a beach somewhere. But what I want you to do is create something called a love list. And the love list is a list of things that you love doing. And I want you to pick one or two of those in every single week. My clients, we do this at the very beginning, and it's all about reconnecting to them in a world that's so busy, in a world where you have so much pressure on yourself, in a world where everything's changing all the time. It's really hard to keep that connection to you. You're trying to keep up with the pace of everything, and you put yourself at the bottom of the priority list. The negotiation, the thing that you always put to the bottom of the list, is you. It's always the compromise. So let's stop compromising on you just by doing one or two things a week that are just for you. So connect to yourself. So we've cleared your head. We've given you where to focus, take inspired action. And then we've given you a way of connecting to yourself. Okay, so that's the third step. So we've got two more. And these making sense. Hopefully they're really useful. Like I said, super simple, but super powerful. Number 4. Have a think about what you do want and don't want. Like I said, with the world changing at the moment, it's quite difficult to set some great big grand plans of what you want, because there's a whole framework that we're not in control of. So instead of that, have a look at your life now and in the past, and also in the future, and think about, what do you want? What do I want? And what do I not want? So if what do I want is feeling a bit scary, and you feel at the moment it's really difficult to know, and you just don't have that clarity, the brain always focuses on the negative. So super simple way of getting some immediate clarity is thinking about what you don't want. And you'll be able to rattle off so many of those, because the brain is negatively wired. So we're kind of using the brain's natural way that it's set up. So it's negatively wired. So go through and write out, what are the things that I have in my life that I don't want right now? And then what you do want tends to be the flip and reverse of that. And in a changing world, that's much easier and that's much more accessible, and that's going to be much quicker than trying to draw some grand plan of how you want your life to be when you don't know what the framework is going to be like next tomorrow, or let alone next month or next year. So that's number 4. And then number 5 is think about just a goal with soul. So think about something that fits with your values. Again, values is one of the biggest things I work with my clients, because it helps shape their life. The more aligned they are to their values, the better they feel, the more happy and the more fulfilled they are. So again, that's for another day and another show. But set a goal with soul. So set a goal that is related to a feeling that you want to create. Actually start with a feeling. So how do you most want to feel at the moment? Is it secure? Is it more confident? Is it, I just want to feel happier? Is it, I actually want to get that purpose and fulfillment back? Choose the emotion first, and then think about one goal that is going to help you to get there. So if it was feeling more fulfilled, is that looking at a new qualification, or is that finding a new job, or is that actually starting your own business? And just think about it. Just set that context, bring it back to you, bring it back to focus on what you want, bring it back to clarity that you can control, rather than all the framework is a shitstorm of 2020 and what's happening, like with the government, with schools, with how we do anything. We don't control that, but you can control what you want, and you can control setting that very clear plan. So think about a goal with soul, set the emotion, and then think about the one goal that's going to help you get there. And then you simply +1 it. +1 is just taking one or two small actions to help you get there. And that will just keep that inspired action moving on. All right. So any questions on any of that? So let's quickly go through and do a quick summary of how to create clarity without exhausting yourself right now, and without losing your mind, which is pretty easy to do at the moment. Number 1 is that brain dump. So just brain dump before you do anything, blank sheet paper, write everything that's in your head and keep writing and writing and writing until there's nothing left. When you've done that, go through and look at everything you've written, split out data and drama, split out what is in your control and what is not in your control, and also split out past, present, and future. Cross out anything that isn't true, any drama, cross out anything that is not in your control, and cross out anything that is past or future, and just focus in on what is here and now. Just let go of those other things, and the crossing out will help. Just see that you can let go of those. The third one then is connect to you. So spend some time each week just with yourself. Just ask yourself this great question, like, how do I feel today? So if it helps, journal on that daily. How do I feel today? What is going on with me today? What would feel good today? What can I do for myself today? Yeah. So connect yourself daily. So create that love list and pick 1 or 2 things off it to do every week. Number 4 is get very, very clear on what you do and don't want. What you do want at the moment might feel a bit challenging because you might not be able to do what you want. So start with what you don't want. Yeah. Start with, I don't want to feel so much under pressure. Start with, actually, I don't want to be working in corporate anymore. Start with, I don't want to homeschool my children. So get really, really clear on what you don't want, because what you do want tends to be the flip and the reverse of that. And it's quite difficult at the moment to think, well, I do want this, but I can't have it, just in the context of a global pandemic. And then number 5, set a goal with soul. So come back to yourself, come back to your values and what's important to you. Set one really clear goal that is going to help you get there. Bring it back to you, bring it back to focusing on you and clarity on yourself. What is your goal with soul? Start with that feeling. Actually, I want to feel more confident. I want to feel more in control. I want to feel more like life is lighter and like life is more fun. And then think about what is the goal that fits with that. And then you just +1 it. So you can take one action every day to help you get there. And that is going to help you create that goal with soul. It's just a matter of time before you get there. Right. I want it to be about 20 minutes, and that's 22 minutes. So I'm pretty damn pleased with that. Oh, I really enjoyed this. Oh, someone said, glad you're feeling better. Thank you for that. I can't see who it actually is. But yeah, so I'm going to be here every Monday morning at 9:30. So I will choose a topic for next week. So I'll be asking you what you think would help you most. If you are looking for more help with clarity right here, right now, you can join my free group, which is Clarity and Confidence in Corporate. It's an amazing community. So I'm going to be there a lot more. We've just got a whole load of guest experts that we're lining up as well. So it's all refreshed and all part of me starting to focus more and more on women in corporate, because that's who I was. That's who I love helping. And that also means that I can have a bigger impact on the world. Doesn't mean I wouldn't work with any other women, because I work with some incredible women who own their own businesses, and women in all different areas. But that's my focus, and that's where I feel I can have the most impact. So yeah, I'm excited to be back. And any comments on this format, or if it's a particular topic you would like covered, let me know, and come over and join the Clarity and Confidence in Corporate community. I'd love to see you there. But have a great day, and I will speak to you very soon. Lots of love. Bye.